Hey everybody, Jesse from Rainey's Flies here again. We're here in the warehouse and we just talked about all of our dries all the way through streamers. Now we're going to get into the warm water all the way through saltwater flies and show you what's new for 2019. Let's get right to it. First up here on the docket is the Giv'em Hellgrammite. So this is a typical, not a typical, but a Hellgrammite pattern, but it's really special in that it has a 90-degree jig hook and the fly lip from Greg Saunders with that barbell. And what this does actually is it actually sinks the fly, and as you strip it, the diving plane actually makes it wobble up. So it dives down and then it wobbles up. So this is a great action fly. It's great for trout and it's great for warm water species as well. We've got lots of bass on this fly as well, so don't forget it for that. The next one we have here is kind of a panfish and a bass fly. It's called the Drewster. Comes in a variety of colors, just this one size. You can see the black, the chartreuse, the white yellow, and then this crayfish combination. So this is a great panfish fly. It's on a 90-degree jig hook, so it stands up like that, and it'll definitely jig in the water and create lots of movement and little fun with those legs. Next, we're going to get to a new color of our ever popular Rattlin' Frog. So the Rainey's Rattlin' Frog is one of our top selling bass poppers, and we're offering this new color, the Fire Tiger combination. So great new, and it's available in all the same three sizes, 4, 6, or 2, 2, 4, 6. So next up here is the Pond Skipper. Great new fly. This one incorporates lots of foam, including a booby eye there for just fun and a good visibility. This is one of our favorite new small frog patterns. It's great for bass and for panfish. And as you can see, it's just layered up and it offers a nice fun diving, popping, cupped face there to create lots of action and a good wake in the water. Next we go to the Elphaba. The Elphaba, available in just this one size. It also has a nice, fun cupped face on it that creates lots of popping action, and it also incorporates another piece of foam here, another peewee popper up in here to actually support the shank of the hook. So rather than most poppers that sit in the water like this actually will ride a little bit more like this. And of course, it's a general attractor and can imitate anything from frogs to other food sources like salamanders and stuff that warm water species love. Then on the same popper category, we come up to the Skeeter popper. The Skeeter popper actually uses one of our new poppers, which is the fish head slider and diver. And through a lot of trial and error and trying to figure out what we could do to maximize the pop, we actually found that if we shaved off the bottom of it and created a real hollow chamber there, we could actually get the popper to spit water twice as far as your typical cupped face poppers. So this is the Skeeter popper, available in just one size, as you can see, the white, the chartreuse, black, olive, and yellow. Great attractor, all-purpose bass bug there. Next we go to the Topwater Slaughter popper. So the Slaughter popper has a good combination of both foam on the front that's cupped in a very unique shape, and trimmed deer hair behind the head, and then a long, nice baitfish tail. So this is definitely a popper, and it was designed to grab the water and actually sink down in a tube fashion and then rise back to the surface and pop. So it chugs down really fast and hard, and then it rises back up. And available in three sizes. You actually can see the three sizes here. The largest, the medium size, and then the little small size, good for smaller panfish species, as well as smaller bass, but all the way up to big bass and even pike and muskie. Topwater Slaughter popper. Next, we also have another fly that incorporates several of our poppers into one. This is called Froggy Style, and this, as it indicates, is an articulated frog pattern. It not only incorporates a mini-me popper, but it has a pre-shaped bass popper and a slider back here as well, or a pencil popper. And so it's got lots of foam on it to actually keep it nice and buoyant, but create a nice popping action. Very realistic frog pattern. It's got some bunny and marabou in there too to flow. So that is the Froggy Style. Then again from Greg Saunders, who is the king of fly lips, his swimming frog. It's got jointed bunny legs that are trimmed for realistic, but it still has that popper. But it has this diving plane. So this is a surface frog pattern, but when you start stripping it, it actually pops and goes subsurface, and as long as you keep stripping it, it will actually maintain its subsurface nature and wobble at the same time, but then eventually it'll float all the way to the surface. and then ready for presentation again. From there, we go up to the BC frog, a really fun frog pattern that we're doing. This is from Kevin Arculio. He has come up with an idea of putting chain and foam on the legs. So this is a frog popper, but as you can see, the legs are very loose. And as this thing pops, the legs kick open because the water slows down the popper. So it uses a Rainey's frog body on the front and discs for the legs, but a very realistic frog popper. And in that same token, we now have a BC mouse. So using a Rainey's mouse head popper fly, and then a chain in the tail with the foam around it, super buoyant, and the tail just will sit there and wag as this gets stripped through the water, creating a nice V action just like mice do. BC mouse there. Very excited about that one. About 4.5 inches long on that one. The headbanger mouse is the next one, and this is an articulated giant mouse pattern. So you can see that the head is articulated from the front, but the front is just on a shank, and the hook is there on the back. It's got a great two-tone. It's got nice hair on the front with some foam on the front and whiskers to make it look really realistic, help with the buoyancy. But then it's got that nice white body and a really nice long bushy tail. This would be great for your big game patterns like taimen or other things like that. It measures 5.5 inches long, so a great large mouse pattern. Next, we go to one of the more innovative flies that we've come across this year from Graham Combs. He actually designed this sidekick here, as you can see, in 3 colors. We've got olive white, gray white, and chartreuse white. And if you look at it from the front, you'll see that the head on my side has been shaved flat and an eye has been put on, and then counterweighted with epoxy. And what this actually does is a wounded baitfish diver pattern. When it hits the water, it wants to roll on its side so the fish can see that it's a wounded baitfish. But when you strip it, it absolutely walks the dog. It goes crazy side to side as it's stripped in there. So it's a really cool counterweighted diving wounded baitfish pattern. You just got to see it in the water. It's fantastic. From there, we go to John Setkowski's Flat Stanley. So this is also a wounded baitfish pattern. It is an articulated pattern. There's no hook in the tail, but it's just kind of loose there on a shank, and then the front has the hook. But that's what it looks like from the side. But as you can see, what the fish sees is something more like that, a nice wounded baitfish pattern made out of foam, so it sticks to the surface, and as you strip it, it just kind of wobbles back and forth with that tail, so it looks like a nice wounded baitfish on the surface. We've had some great fun with this. It comes in shad or all white minnow, rainbow, and you can see the really cool and fun fire tiger there as well. Moving on, we go up to Larry Tollis's wiggle craw. So the wiggle bug is an ever popular fly that typically has a marabou tail and has that foam diving plane. In this case, we have he has designed one to add rabbit in a crayfish manner, as you can see there. So again, this wobbles and dives down into the surface, but when it imitates rather than just a kind of a general baitfish pattern. This is definitely a crayfish pattern. So this wobbles as it goes down into the water column, and then it pops back up because it's made out of foam. So wiggle craw, just available in this one size. From here, we go to a new size of an existing pattern. So a couple of years ago, we came out with the BC minnow, which measures just about 4 inches long, and we've added about 1 inch and some to the girth and made a mega BC minnow. So the other one was good for trout and other warm water species. This is definitely targeting large, big game species. It measures 5 inches in length and has a diving plane on it. So like previously, as this fly goes through the column, it wants to wobble side to side, and then that tail wobbles side to side with it as it gets stripped down, and then it will pop back to the surface if you stop animating it. It is kind of counterweighted right here on the shank, so it does have more of a neutral buoyancy to it. So as it goes down, it really wants to stay there, but eventually it typically works its way to the surface. But if you just keep stripping it, it keeps wiggling. If you strip it really fast, it swims like a crazy bait fish, and we see lots of takes right then as well. As you can see, it's available in purple black, perch, fire tiger, chartreuse white, gray white, olive white, and then we leave it all white. And you're able to paint this any color that you want. So if you have an alternate color, there's a blank for you. From there, we go to another warm water Scopany trout fly. So this can go both ways, both into just a large streamer or into a attractor, bass, and musky fly. This is called the Farmer's Daughter. It's available in 2 sizes. You can kind of see the small size there and the larger size there, which is about 1.5 inches longer. It's available in olive, brown, purple, perch is what we call this one, black, and fire tiger. And as you can see, each color has a highlighted color, tied on 60-degree jig hooks, as you can see in the addendum, so it's weedless. They also have a rattle in them, so as it strips through the water, it creates a rattle. So really fun new bass and trout scoponie type fly. And as a proprietary nylon and acrylic eyelash yarn that is in the head, that just actually moves and breathes just as crazy as marabou does in the collar. So it creates a lot of movement and a lot of excitement in the water. Now on to some of our funner and bigger game patterns. We have the baby swallow from Paul Mason. So this is an articulated baby swallow pattern. As you can see, the hook's on the front with one of our pre-shaped bass pops, and then the tail end is a trimmed deer hair body with the wings and the tail coming out of it. So a great baby swallow pattern, very realistic, good for big trout and pike and muskie swallow pattern. And then of course, we have been developing this for several years. We have now a duck pattern. It's shaped foam and articulated. As you can see, it's on a big 5/0 hook. The head is articulated and moves around. It's all made out of our crosslink foam. It does have a counterweight, so it lands upright every time properly. And then we have this synthetic tail material coming off that's cupped forward, so it wants to spin, kind of like a fly tail that simulates the legs as it's swimming through the water. This is a great fly. We have tested it for almost 2 years now and dialed it in. We've got the right size, we've got the right weight, we've got the right balance. We call it the Dead Duck. So Dead Duck from Rainey's Flies. And as you can see, we offer it both in yellow and black. You can see a good size there. So a great fly. I mean, the body measures about 4 inches, and the legs, of course, will extend a couple inches beyond that as it swims. So easy to manage with an 8-weight rod. I fish it with a 7-weight oftentimes. So a great new Dead Duck there. This is the TK's Eldorado Deceiver. We actually do it in this color already. So the red and black has been a staple for a couple of years now, but by popular demand, that fishery is kind of going crazy. So we have offered it in 3 additional colors. You can see the chartreuse in black, the orange and black, and the purple and black. And so 3 new colors for the Eldorado Deceiver. This is not only good for the golden dorados down in South America, but it's actually would be good for any pike, muskie, and big game fly as well. And we sell it like that as well. We've actually been tying it custom for several years for a lot of those big game trips. Going next to a new color offered, so the Lap Dancer by Steve Daly, which we have done in kind of a olive and yellow and a rainbow color. So we have a new color that's very musky and bass oriented. As you can see, this fly measures 8 inches in length. So this is a nice big game, triple articulated streamer for pike and muskie. And this color we call musky sucka. So great combination of yellow and orange and gold and everything for big warm water species. And on that same token, we now go to the Swingers Convention. Swingers Convention actually incorporates our new PSP popper head that's available commercially if you want to tie your own, and a variety of collar and material and legs. But this fly, with the cupped front on it, actually it's called Swingers Convention for a reason, because it walks the dog really, really well. As you strip it, it just goes side to side to side to side. And it's a great popper. So it pops and pops aside. As you strip it again, it pops again this way and creates a really cool wounded, kind of a bait fishy attractor movement. So great new fly. As you can see on this one measures about 8 inches in length as well, and available in black, purple, the white and red, and then this fire tigery color, which is basically a chartreuse with the fire orange collar on it. Next, we actually break into the pure saltwater market. So the Casablanca raghead is one of our most popular flies. We've always offered that in olive and tan. And by popular demand, and we've been tying it custom for years, is available this new white color. Same color or same sizes, available 4 and 6, but available in all white with a little bit of chartreuse on the thread. So the white Casablanca. Next, we have a couple of new bonefish and flats flies from Colby Hain, who's a guide in Florida. This is called the pig farm shrimp. So it's a larger shrimp pattern. It's got a weed guard on it. It's got good pseudo hair and pearl body, and it's got a little attractor egg spot on it as well. So this is the pig farm shrimp. Great, fun flats fly. Good combination of natural and synthetic material. And then his Casuarina spinner, which is also a great attractor shrimpy flats fly pattern, as you can see there. Next we go to the Gulf Coast Corona toads. We've done Corona toads for a number of years. We actually put it on a larger size hook and combined both copper and gold into one fly. We've tested this on not only tarpon, but it's primarily for those redfish. So it's one size available there, as you can see, the 2/0, and good combination of both gold and copper in a toad pattern. Next here we've got the skipping shrimp. The skipping shrimp is actually a foam shrimp that's made for the surface. As you can see, it's got a cupped front to create a wake and a little popping action. Good for redfish and snook and other mangrove type species, but this is a new type of fly that is being developed over the last several years, and only the locals fish surface shrimp patterns, but now we've got one commercially available so that anyone can get it. But a great surface shrimp pattern, good for fishing and catching those fish and those mangroves and other smaller baby species that you find in bays and stuff. So skipping shrimp. Next we go to a Clouser minnow. So we do all the colors of the Clouser minnow, but we're offering just a new color in it. All the size range is still applicable, but this is a black and purple Clouser minnow. Just a new color for this year, but going to be certainly one that takes off. Very, very popular and not been available until now. Next, but certainly not, this is last but not least, is Bob Clouser has come out with a new pattern. So a variation of the Clouser minnow. This is a bend back half and half. So like the Clouser minnow, it rides hook point up, but unlike it has this partridge hook on it that's bent a little bit, so it's a little bit more weedless in the bend back style, but it also incorporates, like the half and half, feathers in the tail. So you're going to just increase the movement where Clouser minnow is just a little stiffer. This is going to actually move a lot more. As you can see, we offer this in two sizes, size 1 and size 4. This is the larger of the two. The size 1 is about 4 inches, and the size 4 is just about 3 inches long. So the bend back half and half by Bob Clouser, available in all the standard colors, including a few trout colors. Great new fly for 2019 that we're excited about. So that's just about it. This is all the flies we're coming out with for 2019. We appreciate your patience in watching these two videos. We are grateful for our fly designers and our in-house staff that has done such a great job at developing and presenting quality and innovative flies. We couldn't do it without them. And as you probably already know, new flies are the thing that people always want to look for. So make sure you save some bins space for some of those new flies, because when people come in the shop, they always want to look for the new stuff. So thanks, and if you have any questions, contact us here at Rainey's Flies. Thanks.